I am very happy. Are you happy in your relationship?
Yes, this relationship is a happy place for me. It's like
I love that you use the word happy place.
No, but seriously, it's like for me, it's one of those things where I found where I can seeing her happy actually makes me really happy.
Speaking of EGOTs from the South Side, Jennifer Hudson,
Yes.
your girlfriend, how special is that relationship to you?
Oh man, that relationship is one of the greatest blessings and most important things in my life, in my whole journey in life. The friendship, the partnership, the life partnership, just the connection. Byron, to have somebody who's as talented and just soulful and like gifted and can do all these different things and is one of the greatest vocalists of all time and just this pure artist, man. Like she's a special artist, but then to have someone who, most importantly, when it comes to relationship, it's just like it's like equal yoke. Y'all can. I'm very grateful. I thank God each and every day, and I'm just letting God guide this relationship.
Because God is in it, right?
God is in it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Listen. Okay, this is the happy place. And we
Speak on it.
She the
Speak
one
on
you
it.
say.
Speak on it.
I heard that.
Speak on it. Speak on it.
But here at the happy place, we like to respect people's privacy, so I'm not going to ask you too many more questions about that.
Yeah.
But you know, everybody want to know, so I had to.
Yeah.
Ms. Hudson had to get into that thing.
We keep it private, but I want to acknowledge how wonderful she is, how great she is. So that's good.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel that same way about my partner.
Forget the polite love talk. Jennifer Hudson may have just flipped the script on Common, and the whispers are brutal. One moment he's praising her as his greatest blessing, and the next, the streets are buzzing about betrayal, hidden receipts, and a possible new man in Jen's life. If that's true, this isn't just about romance. It's about pride, power, and a Hollywood love story collapsing in real time. Common sat down for an interview recently and couldn't stop glowing about Jennifer Hudson. He called her one of the greatest blessings of his life, a partner he felt equally yoked with, and went on about her talent, her spirit, and how just seeing her happy made him happy. On paper, it was the kind of confession that makes fans swoon, romantic, soulful, and picture-perfect. But here's where it gets interesting. While Common was out here gushing, Jennifer Hudson was moving very differently. Behind that radiant smile, word is she's been sending a message of her own, a silent but deadly clapback that flips his entire narrative upside down. Instead of echoing his public declarations, Jen's been keeping her words tight, her body language sharper, and her focus firmly on her work. And now, insiders say that what looked like a fairy tale might actually be a carefully managed performance, covering up cracks neither of them wanted you to see. Because the question isn't just how much does Common love Jennifer Hudson, it's does Jennifer Hudson even want that love the way he's packaging it? To really understand how he got here, you have to rewind the tape and go back to where it all began, Chicago. Both Jennifer Hudson and Common are South Side legends, hometown royalty with trophies stacked higher than most artists could dream of. Long before romance was ever whispered, their paths kept crossing in the city that raised them. Charity events, music fundraisers, community programs, they were often spotted in the same rooms, smiling for the same photos, representing Chicago with pride. It was the kind of connection that felt destined to turn into something more. Then came Breathe in 2024, the sci-fi thriller where they shared the screen. For fans, that was the turning point. On set, the chemistry was hard to hide. Those stolen glances, the easy laughter, the way they carried each other in interviews. It wasn't just about the movie anymore. It was about the energy between them. And when paparazzi cameras started catching them slipping away together, first in Philadelphia, then in Malibu, later back home in Chicago, the whispers started to grow louder. TMZ could play it safe with just friends, headlines all day long, but the internet wasn't buying it. To the outside world, this was romance blooming in real time. The perfect story of two Chicago powerhouses finally finding each other. But while the fans saw a love story unfolding, insiders noticed something else: cracks in the way they handled the spotlight. Common leaned into the narrative, letting his interviews double as love letters, almost like the relationship became part of his brand. Jennifer, on the other hand, seemed cautious, smiling, yes, but careful, holding back, almost as if she didn't want the public romance to become bigger than her own voice. And that difference, subtle as it was, would soon grow into the kind of tension you can't hide with a red carpet pose. As the months rolled on, the difference in how Common and Jennifer handled their relationship became impossible to ignore. Whenever Common sat down for an interview, he couldn't resist turning the conversation back to Jen. He spoke about her like she was a gift from above, calling her his greatest blessing, his equal partner, and a woman whose happiness defined his own. On the surface, it was sweet, but fans began to pick up on something else. The way he described their love didn't always sound like it was about her. It sounded like it was about him. Instead of "we're in love," it was "look at how much I've grown to deserve this love." To some, it came across less like a love letter and more like a subtle flex. Another way for Common to polish his already carefully curated image of depth, romance, and evolution. Meanwhile, Jennifer Hudson was playing a very different game. On her talk show, she dropped the occasional gem, casually calling him "that man of mine," or smiling when his name came up. But she never lingered. She didn't gush, she didn't pour her heart out in public, and she certainly didn't make the relationship the centerpiece of her career. For Jen, privacy was power. Her focus stayed on her music, her hosting duties, her EGOT status. And while Common was out here making their romance part of his narrative, Jen seemed to want it kept firmly behind closed doors. That contrast did not go unnoticed. Fans started side-eyeing the imbalance, with comments flooding social media like, "Why does Common always talk like he's giving a TED Talk about Jen? And why does she look like she's smiling through gritted teeth when he overshares?" The whispers grew louder. Jennifer wasn't comfortable with how much their relationship was being used for Common's public image. She wanted love, not press tours. And while she kept it classy, insiders claimed she was quietly pushing back, making it clear she didn't want to be anyone's storyline. And that, right there, is where the tension really started to simmer. Because when one half of a power couple wants to keep things private, and the other half can't stop turning it into headlines, you're already looking at a storm waiting to break. And then came a night that shifted everything: the Grammy afterparty. The show had wrapped, the cameras had cooled, and while Jennifer was basking in another flawless award season moment, Common was spotted slipping into Delilah, one of Los Angeles' most exclusive post-award haunts. No paparazzi cameras were rolling inside, but let's be real, in a room full of industry insiders, there's no such thing as privacy. Word traveled fast, and the whispers were ugly. Common was seen in a corner booth, getting a little too comfortable with a tall model type. Arm around her shoulder, leaning in close, whispering, laughing like they'd known each other forever. This wasn't a quick hello. This was hours of cozy body language, the kind you don't mistake for just friends. Now here's where it really stings. Jennifer Hudson didn't hear about it from him. She found out the same way the rest of the world did, through the whispers circulating online and the insider gossip that couldn't stay in the room. For a woman who had been fiercely private about her love life ever since her breakup with WWE star David Otunga, this wasn't just betrayal. It was public humiliation. And in Hollywood, humiliation isn't just personal, it's professional. Jennifer isn't just a singer or an actress. She's an EGOT winner, the host of a successful daytime talk show, and a woman whose brand is built on power, talent, and respect. Her name doesn't just attract fans. It attracts advertisers, producers, and sponsors with deep pockets. So when her partner is suddenly linked to a random model at an industry party, it doesn't just hit her heart, it hits her reputation. Because in this business, image is currency, and nobody can afford to look like they're being played. For Jennifer, the Grammy afterparty wasn't just another headline. It was a turning point. She was already cautious about how much of their romance Common made public, and now the story wasn't even hers to control. Overnight, their love story went from happy place to a very public test of pride, privacy, and power. And the way she chose to respond would flip the narrative in ways Common never saw coming. Once the after-party whispers started to spread, both camps went into overdrive, but the way they played the game couldn't have been more different. Jennifer's team knew exactly what they were doing. Say less. No fiery Instagram posts, no messy clapbacks, no joint statements begging for privacy. Instead, Jen doubled down on her brand. She kept the focus on her talk show, her music, her family, and quietly let the gossip swirl without giving it oxygen. The silence wasn't weakness, it was power. Because in Hollywood, sometimes the loudest move is not saying a word and letting people connect the dots themselves. Common, on the other hand, leaned defensive. His reps dropped lines to the press about how the headlines didn't reflect the reality of their relationship and how the two remained good friends. But instead of calming the storm, it only fueled speculation. Fans felt the spin. His words came off dismissive, as if he was trying to wave away the receipts everyone had already seen. And compared to Jennifer's graceful restraint, his approach looked messy, like he was scrambling to protect his image more than his relationship. The contrast couldn't be clearer. Jennifer moved like a queen on a chessboard, silent, strategic, unbothered, while Common looked like he was reacting to plays he never saw coming. And here's the kicker. Through it all, neither side confirmed a breakup. No official "we're done," no Instagram unfollows, no clean split, which only made every public sighting, every social media post, every clipped interview feel like a puzzle piece fans were desperate to put together. Were they still together? Were they quietly over? Or were they both just waiting for the other to make the first mistake? At this stage, it wasn't just about love anymore. It was about optics. And in the court of public opinion, the one who looks unbothered usually wins. By saying nothing, Jennifer let the world crown her the classy queen rising above the drama, while Common's defensive words only dug the hole deeper. And that, right there, set the stage for the next twist no one saw coming. Just when the dust seemed like it might settle, the internet did what it always does, turned whispers into wildfire. A blind item dropped on one of those notorious gossip blogs, and it sent shockwaves through the industry. According to the Post, the mystery woman spotted with Common at that Grammy afterparty wasn't just some random model. She was allegedly connected to Jennifer Hudson's own inner circle. Yes, you heard that right. If the rumor is true, this wasn't just a case of a wandering eye. This was betrayal from the inside, the kind that cuts twice as deep because it's personal and professional. And suddenly, Common, usually the man who can't resist a mic, a camera, or a heartfelt quote, went silent. No new interviews, no red carpet appearances, not even his usual stream of motivational posts on Instagram. For a man so comfortable in the spotlight, the quiet was deafening, and fans couldn't help but see it as a guilty retreat. But here's where it gets even messy, eh? PR insiders started whispering that the brands tied to Common, endorsements, sponsorships, future projects, were quietly monitoring the situation. Jennifer isn't just any celebrity. She's one of the most bankable women in daytime TV, a powerhouse with Oprah on speed dial, and the kind of influence advertisers don't ignore. And if the story of Common getting too close to someone in her circle gains more traction, it could shift from gossip to liability. Because when love drama starts threatening the money, the fallout isn't just emotional, it's corporate. So now the stakes aren't just about heartbreak. They're about reputation, power, and who controls the narrative when two Chicago icons find themselves on opposite sides of the rumor mill. And if this blind item has even a grain of truth, Common may have just set off a bomb he can't contain. And now, here we are. The fairy tale Chicago love story that once had fans cheering has turned into one of the juiciest question marks in Hollywood. Did Common just fumble the most high-profile relationship of his career? One tied not only to an EGOT winner, but to a woman whose brand is so powerful it could make or break his. Or is Jennifer Hudson orchestrating the ultimate silent checkmate, letting the whispers do all the work while she stands tall as the unbothered queen? And let's not forget the other possibility. Is this entire saga nothing more than a storm whipped up by internet sleuths and industry gossip blogs who live to connect dots, even when the lines aren't there. The truth is, nobody really knows. There's been no breakup announcement, no social media confirmation, no sit-down tell-all interview. Which means every Instagram post, every public appearance, every carefully worded comment feels like a clue and a mystery that the fans are desperate to solve. Is a red carpet debut about to shut the rumors down? Will a surprise duet flip the story back to romance? Or will a shady Instagram post confirm that the love story is over for good? One thing is certain. The next move is everything. Whatever Jennifer Hudson and Common choose to do or not do will decide the narrative once and for all. Until then, all we can do is watch, speculate, and wonder whether this was ever really a happy place or just a love story waiting to implode. Because in Hollywood, silence isn't just golden, it's the loudest answer of all.